start the recording, Mario. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The presentation is going to be in English. Unfortunately, I can't speak Turkish. First of all, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's great that you were able to join this presentation, this conversation, and that's what I'd like to be, you know, a conversation. So if at any moment you have any questions or any feedback, any comments, please drop them in the chat. We'll try to address them as soon as possible. I would like to leave a few minutes at the end of the webinar for any questions, any comments, so please stay with us until the very end. Thank you, Fulbright. Thank you for having us. Thank you for organizing this, for this opportunity to talk about the GRE and to introduce myself to your audience. My name is Mario Legido, as you can see on the screen. In case you're wondering, Legido is a Spanish name. That's my nationality. And I'm the person who oversees the GRE in the region in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. I work with universities, with test centers, business schools, teachers, associations, everybody really in this region. And I just make sure that everybody has the right information, the updates, access to resources, any tools that will help you do well in the GRE, because that's what we want. We want you to do very well in the GRE so that you can get a great score and you can achieve your goals, your academic goals, your professional goals. So today we have a lot of things to talk about. I will try to, to be very precise and keep it under 40 minutes, 30 minutes, about that. It's a great opportunity for you to address any concern, any question that you may have about the GRE. I think besides the information, it's a great time and moment for you to share any of your questions and comments with us. Okay, because we are an assessment organization, that's what we do. We do tests, so we test people. Let's start with a little trivia for you. Let's start with a test. Let me put you on the spot and test your knowledge on the GRE. So try to answer quickly, in a GRE style. We have to do things quickly. And maybe you become the GRE champion today. So the first question from me to you today is, how long do you think the GRE is? Is it less than 3 hours? Is it about 3 hours and 45 minutes? Or 1 hour and 58 minutes? So I'm just going to give you the answer. It's 1 hour and 58 minutes. That's the duration of the time, and it's been like that for a couple of years now. How many institutions around the world do you think accept GRE scores? Over 5,000? Over 20,000 institutions around the world, or over 2,000 institutions in 50+ countries? Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's B, is over 20,000 institutions in 160+ countries. And that gives you an idea of the popularity of the test and the level of acceptance of the test around the world. Next question. If I'm applying to a business or management program, I must take the GMAT. True or false? Well, the answer is not necessarily. It's not true. You don't have to take the GMAT because the GRE is accepted by business schools worldwide. Of course, I represent the GRE, but I always say that it's important that you do your research, that you get all the information, and that you take the test that is best for you, the best fit. The test that will play to your strengths. And the GRE does have several advantages over the GMAT, which I'm happy to explore in today's presentation. Last question. You will see your official verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning as scores as soon as you finish the test. So you will finish the test and you will see your official scores right there on the screen. The answer is false. No. You will not see your official scores. You will see your unofficial scores for the verbal and quant part of the exam, and you'll see that on the screen, and it's a perfectly good reference, an approximation of how well you did or how bad you did. But you will get your final official results in 8 days, 8 calendar days, working days. Very good. I hope you got all of them right. And let's just jump into today's presentation, because we have a lot of things to cover, really, a lot of material that I would like to share with you. What is it, the GRE? Maybe many of you are already familiar with this, but I would like to just give you a quick overview. So the GRE is actually a cognitive test, an admission test, and it's actually the most widely used test for graduate admissions around the world. It's a global standard. It's got a great reputation, and it's used for admissions to masters, MBAs, PhDs, etc. And what does it do? What does the GRE do? So the test evaluates essential skills, cognitive skills. So the GRE focuses on skills, on things that you can do, things like analyzing information, assessing arguments, solving problems, so things that you can actually do, your abilities. And those abilities, we consider them essential for graduate programs and also for professional environments, for your professional future. And the 3 different parts of the exam are analytical writing, quantitative reasoning, and verbal reasoning. And because the GRE does not focus on a specific subject knowledge, so it's not a test on just mathematics or designed for engineers or designed for teachers, or business people. It's got a wider scope. That's why you can use it for different purposes for graduate education, and that's why the exam is so popular, because it's suitable for different purposes and also suitable for students coming from a diversity of academic backgrounds. So you may have a background in humanities or science, but you want to do a master's in management or an MBA because maybe you want to, redirect your career. Well, that's fine. You can take the GRE. So the main goal of the exam is to provide a metric, a common ground, so that everybody has an opportunity to show their academic strengths, regardless of your background, your abilities, your core skills. And schools will use that metric to help with admissions, to select the students that they will fit their programs better. And that's why many programs will either recommend it or require it. Let me tell you a little bit more about the, what admission committees and schools may be looking for, because you take the GRE, you get a great score. That's very good, but that's not the only thing that schools are looking for, and we have to bear that in mind. They want to see signs, evidence that you can succeed in the programs, in the graduate programs. So a strong application will cover different things. They will look at your academic ability, your work experience, your personal statement, of course, your interview, and the GRE is a part of it, a part of the bigger picture. However, if you submit a good, solid GRE score, it will make your application stand out. It will show your commitment. It will show that you're ready. It will show that you're really interested in showing your best profile, your best yourself to the graduate school. So the skills that the test is going to cover basically are you good with numbers? Can you solve problems? Can you analyze text? Can you communicate clearly? Can you construct a solid argument in English, in written English? And these are the skills that the GRE is going to evaluate. And these are the skills that many graduate programs are looking for. And we call them essential or core skills because you're going to use them now and also for the rest of your life. Now let's look at the different sections of the GRE in more detail. I just want to give you a quick overview in case you are not clear about the different parts of the exam. So we have the analytical writing part, which is one section only. It's one essay, and it takes 30 minutes. Then we have verbal reasoning, which is 2 sections, and you have a total of 41 minutes to complete it. Then we have the quantitative reasoning, which is 2 sections, and you have a total of 47 minutes to complete it. So the first thing, as you can see on the screen, the total duration of the exam is 1 hour and 58 minutes. So the first thing you should notice is there are time limits, and they're very strict. And this is normal. This is common to all this type of exams. So this is a challenge, and also a skill in itself. The time limits, to work against the clock, to be aware that you have to answer all the questions within some time constraints. And this is very important, and it's a skill that you need to develop before you take the test. You should practice. You should take the free tests that we have available on our website, and make sure that you can complete the test within those the 1 hour and 58 minutes. Very important. Let me just tell you a little bit about the 3 different sections. Analytical writing is the first one, and basically what you have is 30 minutes to write an essay. We will give you the topic, so it's not open-ended. We will give you an issue on which you must write an argument. You need to explain your point of view about that argument. And about these issues, these topics, don't worry, because we provide all of them for free on our website. So I'll give you all the links, all the different tools and resources that I'm going to be mentioning. I will just paste them in the chat because they're really useful. We provide all the topics so that you can practice, you can familiarize yourself with the types of issues that you will find in the writing section of the exam. Then we have verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning, and they can come in any order. Maybe first the quant, maybe first the verbal, it varies. For the verbal reasoning, you will focus on reading comprehension and vocabulary questions, but not, like typical vocabulary and passages in English. It's more complex, it's more advanced language, and you have to get used to that. You need to make connections. You need to understand the meaning of certain passages, even when you don't know all the words. So it's really important. First recommendation, maybe second recommendation of the day, it's very important that you read lots before the exam, that you get familiar with the types of questions and the vocabulary that you will find in the GRE verbal reasoning part. Then finally, quantitative reasoning, the quant section, the mathematics, this is the numbers. And basically what we want to see is that you can solve problems using what we call high school level mathematics. So this part of the exam is going to cover arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. So it's, high school level, but you will not see any advanced mathematics like trigonometry or calculus. What we want to see basically is that you can work with numbers, that we give you a problem and you can solve it using numbers. And also we provide all the formulas, all the concepts, all the types of questions that you will find. We provide them for free on our website as a reference, as a guideline for many of you who, maybe have been out of school for a while and need to refresh mathematical concepts. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about the different scores that you can get in case you have any doubts about this. In the GRE, you will get 3 separate scores for each of the sections of the exam. So for analytical writing, you will get a score that goes from 0 to 6 in half-point increments. So you may see on your report, you may see something that looks like 3, 3.5, 4, etc., etc. And then for verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning, you will get separate scores as well, but they go from 130 to 170 in 1-point increments. So on your report, GRE score report, you will see maybe 150, 151, 152, etc., etc. So now that we know that you get 3 separate scores, maybe you're wondering, so what score should I get? It's a very reasonable question. My advice is always that once you know that you need to take the GRE, get in touch with the school of your interest, contact their admissions office, and you make sure to understand what they are requiring for the GRE. And that should be your goal. You should aim for that number, that requirement. regardless of that, it's always a good idea to aim for the highest possible score, to do your best, because that will give you a competitive edge. That will help you stand out from other applicants, regardless of the requirement. In general, I can tell you that for competitive programs, those programs are really selective, etc. 160 plus for the quant is common, and for the verbal 155. Sometimes you'll see that schools will combine both scores, and they will say for the GRE we require 310 or 320, and that means that they have combined both the verbal and the quant. They've put them together, and they'll say 300 or whatever. When you submit your GRE scores, it is very important that you select the school or the schools that will receive the scores. So right after you finish the exam, you will get your unofficial score, and at that time you will decide, okay, they look good, I want to send them to different schools, or not. I'm not happy with my performance, I'm just going to cancel. And you can do that, and nobody will notice anything. But if you want to send them, then you can send them to up to 4 different schools or programs, and that's included in your exam fee. You just need to select them, and once the results are out, when we release your scores, they will receive the report automatically. You don't have to do anything else. Where can I take the test? Okay, so you should know that you can take the test at a test center, an official authorized ETS test center, or you can take it from home. In both cases, you will need a computer, because GRE is computer-based. We don't offer it on paper. So you will need a computer with a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse to take it, your basic tools. If you take it at an authorized test center or at home, please know that is exactly the same exam. You will face the same challenge. It's the same format, the same content, the same scores, everything. Even the price is the same. We don't increase the price because you take it from home. It's the same test, so we keep the same price. It's $220 US. The big advantage of the home edition, well, you can schedule your test anytime. If for any reason you have to take it late at night or very early in the morning, you can do that. You can schedule it at any time. Also, you can schedule it for the next day. In 24 hours, you could be taking the test. One thing that I always like to highlight is this, that is really important, is because you take it from home, please don't underestimate the level of security. Please don't think that it's going to be more relaxed or more flexible. Maybe more relaxed because you're taking it from your home, but the security protocols are going to be strict. Somebody will be watching you, and if this person sees anything out of the ordinary, something strange like looking away or strange noises in the room, your exam may get canceled. So if for any reason you think you cannot provide a quiet space, for any reason you think you're going to have computer problems or your internet connection is not that good, by all means, register for the physical, the in-person, face-to-face exam at a test center. How do you register for the test? Well, it's very simple, fairly simple. I just want to leave you with a key couple of messages, 2 important messages. As soon as you know that you want to take the GRE, you should register. Open your free account. It's available on the ETS website. It's completely free. You can just browse around, just get familiar with it, with the resources, with the tools. But once you know that you have to take it, register for it, because in that way you will get the location and the dates that you prefer. This is the landing page, the main website where you can register. You can just enter those 2 addresses that you see on the screen, and they'll take you to the landing page, the official place where you can register directly with ETS. It's very straightforward, very simple. You just need to provide your basic information, and that's it. You'll have access to all kinds of information about the GRE before and after the test. One important piece of advice that I want to give you is about your name. When you register for the GRE, make sure that you register using the same name that appears on your passport, the same name that appears on your national ID, whatever you're going to use as a proof of identification on test day. Both names, registration name and passport name, have to match. If we see any kind of discrepancy, then you may have a problem, the unpleasant surprise that you can't take the test. So make sure that both names match. Don't use like special like accents or characters, just the way it appears on your ID. Why you should take the GRE? I thought it was important that you should know. We don't have all the time, to cover so many aspects of a test, but I thought it was important that you knew certain advantages of the GRE against other options in the market. I think it's important that if you're still considering whether you want to take the GRE or not, that you know some benefits and advantages of the GRE. So on the screen, you can see some of the features, the benefits, particular benefits of the GRE against all other options for testing, like GMAT, for example. These are advantages over exams, particularly over GMAT. And these features will give you more control and flexibility. I think that's the most the simple way to put it. And these are advantages that will give you more control, more flexibility, and ultimately they'll help you boost your performance. Number one, free navigation. In the GRE, you can move back and forth between questions within the same section. You can go back, you can go forward. You're not forced to always move in the same direction to move forward. You can move around. Also, if you find a question that is a little difficult, or you feel a little stuck, you can skip it, and then you can return to it later. Before you finish the section, you review all the questions that you left unanswered, and you answer them. But you can manage your time a little more flexibly in that way if you can just skip questions and save them for later. Regarding the same benefit, the same advantage, time management. In an exam where you can move around freely, where you can skip questions, where you can even change the answer. Of course, you have more space, to manage your time more freely. You can have your own strategy. You can follow, your own instincts, and because you have more flexibility to do things your way with the GRE. Also, you will get a digital calculator. It's there for you to use if you need it. You just turn it on, and you have a basic digital calculator to help you with the computations and calculations of the math part. Also, one thing that I want to mention about the adaptivity of the exam is that the GRE adapts by section. It's a section level adaptive. It's not a question level adaptive. So it means that not every single question performs or functions as a checkpoint. Sometimes, with GMAT, for example, if you answer one question in a certain way, then the next question will be more difficult or easier depending on your performance on the previous question. It's not the same in the GRE. This is the GRE is adaptive by section. So it means that it's a little less punishing. It means that if you get a question wrong in the beginning of a section, then you have the whole section to recover, to do better. So you might get some questions wrong at the beginning, but by the end of the section, you actually recovered and improved. And finally, a big advantage of in the GRE is that you can change your answers. You're free to do it as many times as you want. No penalty. So if you change your mind, change your answer. My advice is that you never leave any blanks. Please provide answers for all the questions all the time. Don't leave any blanks because you will not get the point. So it's actually better to just make a guess. Preparation strategies. We don't have a lot of time to go over preparation. I just want to give you some hints, some recommendations. to help you succeed and get a great score in the GRE. The recommendations that you see on the screen, they will make a difference. Think of them as, this is not a class, so it's not a course, but think of them as tips, as recommendations that will help your performance. And one basic advice is that the GRE is hard, it's a hard exam, like, because it's a high stakes exam like others. But if you don't prepare, then it's way harder. Preparation makes such a big difference. For the quantitative reasoning, for the math, I want to share the following with you. You will find problems that need to be solved using mathematics, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, etc. That's the gist of it. The challenge is how the GRE asks the questions, how we word the problems, how the graphics are presented. Of course, then we also have the challenge of the time limitation, and that's another added challenge. So, big recommendation, become familiar with the test layout, with the structure, become familiar with the way we ask the questions, because that's going to make a huge difference. If you get to the exam and you haven't done much work, then you will waste time trying to figure out the exam in itself, the platform, the layout. Second recommendation for the math, for the quant part of the exam, focus on accuracy. First, focus on accuracy, because once you are consistently right, once you know that you're getting your questions right, then you will get faster. It will become more of a habit, and you'll be able to answer the questions more quickly. So first, accuracy, and then speed. And then lastly, I want to say, use shortcuts. Do estimations, eliminations, sometimes work backwards, from the answer to the question. Just be smart about the way you answer the questions. Try to use shortcuts and don't get stuck. For the verbal reasoning, my tips, my recommendations are, basically, this is all about language skills. So you don't need to know all the vocabulary in the world, all the English vocabulary in the dictionary. You don't need to know. It's more about context, and I think that's my first recommendation. Learn to solve these questions and these problems using context. So you have to train yourself to work in context, to identify those words that for some reason stand out, that maybe they'll give you a hint. So working in context is key when you can't possibly know all the vocabulary in the world. When you are reading the different passages that we'll present you with, don't drown in details, okay? So don't get stuck. Get the main idea, get the tone, get the register, the intention of the writer, and then make connections. Use your own reasoning skills to make connections. Of course, like in the previous section, keep an eye on timing. You should not get stuck, and you should not spend more than 1 minute, minute and a half on each question. Finally, analytical writing. This is about writing an essay about how you express yourself in written English. And a very simple but powerful recommendation here is practice the same structure. Get used to using a similar structure. Introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction, body, and conclusion. And this is something that you can always use in any context, for any questions, for any issues that you will find in the GRE for this part of the exam. And this is something very useful in general. This is something that you can use to do well in the GRE, but something that you're going to use for the rest of your life. In general, I recommend the following. Think about the issue that we give you, the prompt, for 5 minutes. Think about what you want to say, always very important. Then write for 20 minutes, and then leave 5 minutes at the end to review. That will be the 30 minutes that you get in total for this section. The aim should be clarity, stay on topic, follow instructions, and you should not have any problem. remember, we provide the writing topics on our website and follows the same structure: intro, body, and conclusion. Now on the screen, you can see a study plan, but first thing you should know is that it's not that we are recommending 3 months. Please, it's just a suggestion. For some of you, may take 1 month just to get familiar with the test structure and the layout. Some of you will be 3 months or even 6. It depends on your availability. It depends on how many hours you put in every week. It depends on each person, really. But I thought I should maybe just give you an idea. 3 months to prepare for the test. It's not an exhaustive schedule. It's just a reference for you for your own use, and it's common sense. I'll say that for the first month, the first part of your preparation, you should focus on foundation, understanding the test. You should take 1 free test and just understand where you are, where you stand. Understand your weak areas, the things that you need to improve and get better at. Get familiar with the mathematics, the formulas, the concepts. Start working on vocabulary exercises, ways to improve your vocabulary. If you're not a natural born reader, you should read much more. Now that you're preparing for the GRE, you should read like scientific magazines or publications on economy and business, things like that. Things that are a little more advanced than your typical novel. Then the second part of your preparation on month number 2 should be about skill development. It should be about those strategies that you're going to actually use in the exam. You should focus on those weak spots that you identified before. You should do exams under timed conditions, working against the clock. And you should start writing, just start writing these essays using the pool of topics that we provide. Then finally, month 3, you should focus on getting ready for the test. By now you should be familiar with the test layout. You should be familiar with the types of questions and expectations, and the GRE should feel more manageable. But now it's the time to focus on accuracy, on getting those questions right all the time, working on your mistakes more thoroughly. And if you can make an investment, or if you have access to a test, you should take a test, a real simulation of the test every week. Very good. Now I would like to share with you some of the materials that we publish. ETS designs and publishes official materials for the GRE. They are available on our website through your student account. Some of them are completely free, especially the guidelines, all these tools to help you become more familiar with the test, and others are paid. They cost money. Let's take a look at some of them. First thing I want to highlight is the GRE mini quiz. This is on our website. It's completely free, and it's only 10 questions, but these are real questions, and they will give you a taste of the exam, definitely. You will get feedback, which is great, because if you're not familiar with the test, it's a good way to break the ice, in a friendly way, and then also you will get feedback. So there's nothing to lose here. Then on the GRE website, on the prepare section, you will find lots of materials. They come in many different formats: digital, paper, PDF, etc., etc. They are also available through your student account. I want to highlight the Power Prep Plus series. These are practice exams, and 2 of them are completely free. So you should definitely take advantage of this, especially one. You should take one at the beginning when you are completely fresh, you know nothing. Take one just to find out how much preparation you need. And then you should take another one once you've done some preparation to see how much progress you've made. So 2 of them for free, and then there's another 3 that you can pay. For those 3 that you pay, we have a special promotion You can see on the screen right now, these tests are $44.95, $44.95 US dollars. But you will get 15% off if you use that code that you can see on the screen, PPP GRE 15. So you will get a substantial discount on this practice test just by using that code. You can do this through your student account. Then another tool that I want to mention is the mentor course. You can see it on the screen. It's the GRE mentor course, and this is in case you are more familiar. If you're more comfortable, if you're more comfortable with the idea of taking a course, following a class. It's completely self-study, so you don't have to attend at any specific times. It's a self-paced, self-study, but you will have access to all kinds of content. You will have the quizzes, you will have skill-building activities, you will have a full test to take. So it's really, really good if you want to follow this class format. Besides that, we have flashcards, we have the guides, we have the official GRE guides to verbal reasoning, and etc. So many things that you should just open your account and browse around the preparation site. You'll find lots of materials. I'll paste them here in the chat so that you know where to go, that you have a clear direction of what to do, next steps. These are all the things that I've mentioned throughout my presentation. I'll make sure that you have access to them. And that's it from me today.